This is TCM Graduate TV, episode 19, and I'm going to review Heavy Hitter Lung 1. Welcome back to TCM Graduate TV. I want to start a brand new series this year. So last year we reviewed the 4, we actually did 6 key or command points, we did the 8 influential points, and we did the 8 confluent points. And if you look at my last video, Layer Cake, I was showing how you can build bigger, better, badder prescriptions if you use those other acupuncture points that I covered in those series to augment your treatment. And that's what this series is going to be about as well. This is going to be about my heavy hitter acupuncture points. Now, this is by no means the definitive guide to the best acupuncture points out of all 409 standardized, but this is definitely my definitive list, and I want to share that with you so that you can get better results in the clinic. Maybe it'll spark some ingenuity in you and you'll make better point prescriptions, because that's what this series is all about. It's for the naturopathic doctor who trained in TCM-style acupuncture, the recent graduates, the graduates to be. Maybe you've been practicing for a long time and you just want to hone in on those basics. And I've been a long-term martial artist and I'm all about the basics. I'm just honing in, repeat the basics, because they just seem to work so darn well. And I'm kind of going to defer to Pareto principle, who was an Italian economist, and he came up with the 80-20 rule. So if you're not familiar with this, what this means is that 80% of the time you're going to use 20% of the material, and then the other 20% of the time you're going to use the other 80% of the material. And I truly think that's what mastery is. First, you're going to master that 20%. And if you can master that 20%, you're already a million steps ahead of everyone else. Not that we're in competition with everyone else, but you're going to be very, very confident. And that's what I want to review here. I want to review that 20%. And then over your lifetime and your lifespan of your career, you're going to go ahead and you're going to master that other 80%. So let's start with the diurnal flow chi. We're going to start with the lung channel. We're going to go right through. Then we're going to hit Ren and Do. And I'm just going to share my acupuncture points that I use. So we're going to start with lung 1. So I don't use all 11 acupuncture points on lung, but I definitely use lung 1 for any lung problem. And the only other reason I use lung 1 is for any chest and or shoulder pain. Maybe you have a patient, they were pulling on their lawnmower, or in Canada, here we are with a ton of snow, so maybe they're pulling on their snowblower, try to get it started. So any chest or shoulder pain. And I just want to go through a few combinations. So I had a student of mine when I taught acupuncture a few years ago, and he moved back to Toronto, Ontario to practice with his uncle, who'd been a long time TCM-style acupuncturist. And he came up with this method to give a front and a back treatment at the same time. And he would needle the back shoe points, maybe on like something like a 15-degree angle, and he would needle alongside the channel so that the patient could actually lie back down on top of their needles. And then he could give them an front acupuncture point treatment. And what I usually do is I'll do a flip, and maybe you like to do a flip too. So 15 to 20 minutes on the front and then back, or vice versa, depending on what's going on with the patient. If a patient comes in and they're full of stuffy nose and that sort of thing, I tend to not open up their nasal cavities and then flip them over and stick their head in the hole and have the face rest pressing against them. So I usually do a back treatment first and a front treatment next. But sometimes it's for comfort, sometimes it's just, just kind of habit. You want to do front and then a back at the same time. But I just want to mention that story to you because this is a good opportunity. So any lung problem, we love to combine, or I love to combine, UB13 and lung 1. Now, if the patient comes in and they've got some chest pain and you want to use lung 1 to kind of open up the chest, maybe we're going to combine it with another acupuncture point that opens up the chest, and that would be PC6. Moving on to shoulder pain, so we might use Jianqian as the principal acupuncture point, and then the adjacent acupuncture point could be lung 1. And I've seen it in the Machoche books, and I tend to use it as well. Maybe you're into esoteric or geometric acupuncture and you like that sort of thing. But you can make a triangle with lung 1 and Ren 12 if you see somebody who's got lung and stomach yin deficiency. So XU could be deficiency, or sometimes I write DEF and I put a period, and that's deficiency. So there you have it. Lung 1, first acupuncture point on my heavy hitter list. Use it, be safe with it, check your angling, your depth. You don't want to cause a pneumothorax. I always needle towards the shoulder. Make sure you're learning with somebody from school or mentored, or check your text. Don't learn from some random guy on YouTube. All right, and I just want to remind you that safety is king, bedside manner is king, and results are king, in that order. Thank you so much for hanging out with me 2016. Here comes 2017. We'll see you in a week.